Hello, sippers. Hello, little sippers. How
Hello,
are you
sippers.
doing this lovely Sunday afternoon?
Who's ready to do some painting?
I am.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
This is a good fun one today.
I think so.
Let's introduce ourselves before we start.
My name is Elliot Naughty.
That's his name. And I am NorteyPitcher.
And together we are NorteyPitcher of Art Sippers. We are your creative confidence coaches, building up that
creative muscle.
We're going to take you to zero to Picasso in 90 minutes.
That is the aim.
That's the
and
aim.
we are going to be painting a nice one today.
I love this. We're going to be painting Toucan Do It.
Toucan Do It.
Toucan Do It. Toucan Do this. You can do this. This is what we're going to be creating today. Pitcher, tell them all about Toucan.
So this is Toucan here. We're going to be painting this. You can actually mix it up a bit, change up the background. I've got this kind of forest, kind of jungle scene in the background here, but you can actually change up the colours.
Jungle is massive.
You maybe want to go for a bit of a softer pastel colour. Maybe you want to go for a kind of sky blue. Completely up to you, but we're going to be painting this with acrylic paints today.
Love it.
All right,
So,
and we are art sippers.
and this
That's
is
the art.
This is important. It's a very, very important thing about art sippers is that we have a special tool that keeps us in the sipping situation. What's that, Pitcher?
It's Belly the Bell.
It's Belly the Bell. And every time we press the bell, you guys at home have to do something for us. What have you got to do? You have to crack open your sip
and take a cheeky sip.
and have a cheeky sip.
I've got my tea, so maybe you want to have your espresso if you've got one of our creative boxes.
Yes.
I've got my lovely English tea.
If you've got your box, crack it open. Crack it open.
Get your favourite sip. Okay, so I'm going to go through the tools really quickly with you.
Who's got theirs? Who's got theirs? Open it. Open it up. Make it happen.
The tools. First off, we are going to grab our big brush. So our big brush here, it's a big flat brush. If you've got a bigger one, you can use that. But we're going to use our big brush today, especially for areas of the background and some of the toucan's body. Then we have our medium brush. So this one is a flat shader. So this has actually got a flat edge, not a round edge, a flat edge. Flat shader. You can grab your round edge if you wanted to. I quite like the flat edge for this one. Then we have a lovely small brush. This is details. So we use this one for details like the eyes, or reflection in the eye, maybe the line of the mouth you might want to do, maybe some of these tiny little fluffy feathers on the breast. Pencil, we are going to be sketching this out today, so grab your pencil. I haven't sharpened my pencil.
Oh no, you got a blunt pencil.
I'm going to try and work with this one, but sharpen your pencil up and use pencil. Paper towel, we've got our lovely paper towel. This is to wipe any excess kind of paint off your paintbrush. And disclaimer.
Oh yes. Because we're going to be sipping, make sure that you have your...
This is our paint juice, our tap water basically.
And this is your tasty juice. Put them on different sides of the table so you don't accidentally, when we press the bell, do that. That tastes horrible. You do not want to do that. You want to sip this.
So this is just normal tap water. This is to wash your brushes, but it will get all painty and you might just get in the zone.
Or don't put your paintbrush inside here by accident. People do lots of crazy things.
I've done it in my tea many a time.
There's your first little warning, sippers. Just different sides of the table. Sip and your paint juice. So you don't have any happy little accidents. Look at that, we're crossing over. Look at that. That was interesting.
I thought you were going to take it with you. All right, so we're going to grab some acrylic paints today. Acrylic paints is what we're using. If you have poster paints, oil paints, watercolors, you can use them, but it just might be a slightly different process. Coloring pens as well. You can also use pencils. It's going to be a slightly different process, but you can just wing it.
Hey, Pitcher's got jokes. She's got jokes today.
So we have titanium whites, so some white paint, some lemon yellow, orange. You can use a cadmium orange. This is like a vermilion or a magenta or a red. Grab a red for me. You can use a crimson red. We've got our pack. Phthalo blue.
Bit of phthalo.
I love a bit of phthalo. And this is a green, a nice green mid or a sap green will do you. And then a black. So there are our colours today. That's all we're going to be using. But we also have a competition. Naughty, do you want to go through the competition?
Oh, yes, we do.
So throughout this experience, I'm going to be telling you some. Oh, let's see if I've got some feedback on this one. Maybe. We got some dad jokes. We got some artifacts. And all of these are going to be coming to you at home. And I want you to see if you can guess the answers to my dad jokes and artifact questions. And if you get them right, give yourself a pat on the back. This is probably harder than the artwork this is. So I'm going to give you toucan dad jokes, bird dad jokes, and anything that makes you giggle at home. And if you can guess them, well done you. Give yourself a nice little extra star. And there is a competition. So we want you to do something for us. Once you've completed your masterpiece, we want you to send your creations into the Art Sippers Facebook page. This is our special page. You'll find this on Facebook. You've got to type in Art Sippers Kids. Check that out. Post in your finished artworks, and you could be in to win a special prize.
Yeah, Art Sippers Kids Club. You'll find on our Facebook. Go send us your final masterpiece. It's at the end, and you could win a lovely prize.
We have one rule picture, don't we?
One rule at Art Sippers. This is the one rule we take very seriously, and that is no judgment. So no judgment in here today. That's mainly no judging anybody else's work and your own work. So you might find there's a little voice that comes in your head when you're painting, and maybe might not look exactly the same as mine. At some points you're going, oh, it's not good, or it's not as good as my brothers or sisters. Try to let that voice go.
Yes, we say comparison is the thief of joy. So no comparing yourself to anyone during this. We're just going to have a bit of play. Two can play that game. You like that?
I like that.
I like that. So before we start painting, we need to warm up and feel
Let's
positive and excited. So if you've got any nerves to create this masterpiece, don't have them. If you're still feeling nervous, let's do something. Let's play a little tune, because we're going to be playing in a minute. So let's play a little song with our fingers. That's it. Play a little song with our fingers. Stretch them out, because you need to use these with the paintbrushes. So nice and loosey-goosey. And let's raise our fingers high to the sky, and then let's breathe it in, and let's breathe it out, shake it out.
Woo!
Woo! Feels good. Let's do that again. Play the piano. Let's wiggle these little fingers, raise them to the sky, breathe it in, and shake it out. That allows you to feel relaxed and confident and ready to create a masterpiece. I think it's time.
Press belly the bell.
To play Art Sippers. Let's have a little challenge. Let's do this.
Okay. So first off, grab your canvas. I am using a stretched canvas. This is one with a frame. You might be using a canvas board. You might be using canvas paper, or maybe you've just got a piece of cardboard there in front of you. But grab whatever it is, and let's start sketching. So we've got our toucan here. We're just going to do a little shape, little round shape for the head here. I know it's not round, but we're just going to use that as a guideline. So you want to do this one really, really faint, and we're going to do a circle round about, I don't know, the top right-hand side of the canvas. We're going to do a circle for the head, and that's going to give us a little guideline for the big beak. Okay, so let's start with that. So let's do up in this corner. You want to leave a bit of space at the top because we have a bit of space up here. Let's do a circle round about here. Just a very faint one. It's okay if it goes a bit wobbly because we're not really going to use it. We're just using it as a guideline. Okay, so do a little faint circle like that. And you can actually split it in half very gently as well. We're going to rub these lines out, so you don't want to do them too strong. Split it in half. Now we're going to use these guidelines. This little guideline here. So imagine our circle's around about here. So what we're going to do from kind of near the top of our circle, we're going to do this big curved beak shape. It's almost like a big banana, isn't it? But it's a sharp one.
That's what makes them famous, that big beak.
Yeah, very big. So round about here, on the side of your circle here, we're going to go all the way down and around. Very big. This line can be a bit stronger now because this isn't a guideline. We're going to use this line.
Did you know that their bills can grow up to 1/3 the length of their bodies? That's a big beak.
1/3. They do have these tiny little bodies, don't they? I do wonder how they stand and balance. Must be quite
Be a bit
hard,
wobbly, right?
surely. Okay, so we've done that big curve. Now what we're going to do is we're going to curve back. We're going to use a little bit of a sharp point here, but we're going to curve back, and that actually is going to go to the bottom of the circle now. So that's why we're using this circle. So let's curve it back round to the bottom kind of the circle. Can you see already we're getting that shape now? Spicy work.
Oh, have a little cheeky sip.
Sip.
Have a cheeky sip. While you're having that sip, I think I can go in with this first one.
Are you going in with a joke?
I think I should. I think I should.
Fast
I think
fingers,
it's only
sippers,
right.
fast fingers.
Okay, because you're having a sip, I'm going to see if you can get this. Can you get this one? How many cans does it take to make a bird?
What?
Think about it.
How many
Think
cans?
about it. How many cans does it take to make a bird? You can get this. You can get this. You can get this.
All right. There's our beak. We want to kind of split that. We're not splitting it in exactly half. The top part of the beak is a bit bigger. So we're just going to split this line just a little bit lower. So to give us a little bit of a guideline, see there's the halfway mark. We don't want to be halfway, so we want to go down a little bit, round about here maybe. And then we're going to split our beak up like that. Perfect. And then we've got our little eye up here. Now our eye is actually in this top quarter here, on the left-hand side, this circle. We know we split it in half and half again. Our eye is actually going to be over in this area here. Do a circle for me. And then do a circle within a circle. That's for the dark part. Iris of the eye. Pupil of the eye.
Well, I think people at home are getting it. Question was, how many cans does it take to make a bird? Do you know what the answer was, Pitcher? 2 cans! Come on! 2 cans. I think that deserves an extra sip.
That is very good. That's
Have a cheeky sip. Well done if you got that at home. Well done, well done.
Can you see around our eye? We've got a bit of this kind of orange detail in here. Bit of a pattern on the toucan. Toucans.
It's hard to not say that.
I'm saying toucan now. So we're going to do this little bit of detail in here. Now this little orange detail kind of comes around here on this part again, the top quarter, the left-hand quarter of the circle. And we're just going to do a little kind of C shape to the middle there. So starting from the beak, curving round to the middle of the circle. Then we're gonna kind of go down a little bit and just go to the beak. Can you see it kind of comes to about there on the beak? So we're just gonna go around here, wobble it down. Doesn't matter if it's a bit circular or a bit wobbly. Just a little bit of detailing. Yeah.
So toucans have been popular in loads of kind of different films, and they've been featured in children's books, cartoons, but they've also been included in an animated film.
Oh.
Do you know what animated film I'm talking about? If you know, shout it out. Write in the comments if you know what film.
Even if you're watching this back at a later time, you can still put it in the comments before we say test yourself.
Test yourself. Who's watched that animated film? It's a good film, actually.
Now, I know our circle here is our guideline, but if you have a look at our beak, it's not actually circular here. We've got this line going down to the base here. So we've got this where we just were at the top of our circle here. We're going to go straight down here. So start here. And we're going to go down. Go straight down. And then you're going to wobble out down here. And that's just going to create our new beak line. So if you need to, rub out the circle, that guideline that we did, the light pencil one that we did. Get rid of that circle, and that's going to help us with our new beak shape. There we go. Have a look. Can you see the dark pattern on the beak? Kind of comes down and out, doesn't it? So we're just going to bulk up this line here. We're going to go down here, go to the middle of the beak, and then we're going to come out. And that's going to be our new pattern. So this is going to be painted black. You don't need to colour it in like that. See, it's kind of coming together though. We're going to use our circle guideline again, but this time we're going to use it kind of for the shape of the head. And you can see actually, again, it's not really circular. It goes up a little bit, a little point here. So let's give this toucan a little bit more of a pointy head, like this.
So you see toucans, they feature in the movie Rio.
Yes!
You see Rio, yes. And the name of that toucan is Raphael. Apparently he's a romantic, wise, and energetic, can't say words now, Toucan. It was Eva's Carnival.
I've only seen parts of that movie. I've never seen it all.
We should watch over the Bank Holiday Monday.
We should.
It's a good idea, right?
Good idea. It's supposed to be a really good film. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to do the rest of the body. A good way to kind of start this, actually, before we go for the rest of the body, we've done the top of the head and we need to go all the way down. But it's good to kind of know where this twig or this branch that the toucan is standing on. So let's draw the branch, the tree branch in, and then we can do the body all the way to that. So we're going to do a diagonal line like this, going from this side of the canvas all the way down here, and the same here. So add your tree branch. So I'm going to start round about here and just do a diagonal line. Could be a bit wobbly. Let's do another one. It's okay if your tree branch isn't completely straight, because they're always a bit knobbly. Let's have a look. That's our tree branch. Put it over in the corner there. Okay, now we can follow the head round and go all the way down to our tree branch. Can you see? It goes down.
It's got little jaggedy lines, right?
It does, and we will paint them in. But we're going to go down. It's going slightly curved and then curves in just at the very, very end there for just before the tree branch. So we can go down. You can do it in jaggedy lines if you want to. And then just curves in.
Is that supposed to look like the feathers?
It is.
Have a cheeky sip. That helps you get those jaggedy lines. Take a bit of time to pause and reflect. Do you know what I've got, Pitcher?
Go on.
I've got another dad joke.
Let's hear it.
Okay, you can get this. You can get this. Can you tell me what type of soap do birds use? You can get this one. Think about at home. Don't you think they can get this one? What type of soap do birds use? Have a think. If you know it, shout it out or pop it in the comments. You do this. I know you can.
Okay, so the next bit is from our beak. We're going to go down and do the rest of the body. Can you see this curves out a little bit? So you've got the neck bit. Obviously, you've got the rest of it there. It goes out and then comes down. It doesn't kind of, it goes a little bit further than where the twig is. So round about here maybe. But we're going to start that curve. So underneath the beak, we're going to curve in a little bit. And then we're going to come out, go round and down. Coming together now. A few more bits to do. We've got the little claws. And maybe this detailing on the beak. Let's do that detailing on the beak. It's just a little bit of a black detail, which kind of comes around here like that, a bit wobbly. On the top part of the beak. Then we have the little white breast here, just at the bottom. I mean, just at the front here, going underneath the eye, and then just curving down. So we're going to do that shape too. Actually, at this point, it might be good to rub out our little circle guideline that we did at the very beginning. Remember our circle and the cross through it? Let's rub that out so it doesn't confuse us. It's always good to have a little eraser. I've lost my eraser, so I'm using the back of my pencil here, which is enough. Okay, and we're going to do our little circular white breast. It's just down here. You can see it's just kind of coming down here, a little curve. Comes over here, but then we just got to go and meet the eye, and this creates a little bit of a curve here. Comes out, but everyone's might be slightly different. Your pattern might be slightly different.
Yeah, it's just we want it to be striking, just like all of those lovely toucans. They've got those unique bright colours, and they're unique. They're very unique, these toucans, just like everyone's artwork.
I just did a little corner here too because they've got that little white bit there. I used a reference photo when painting this, so I looked at a photo of a toucan so I could get it right. If you've got a toucan in your back garden, you could always just copy that.
Has anyone actually seen a real toucan in real life?
I think I might have seen one at a bird centre or a zoo, but yeah, never in the wild.
Love it. So, I think I might be a toucan. Do you know why? Because apparently their love for their striking appearance, their friendly nature, and not only that, they have charming personalities.
Are you saying that you are that?
Call me toucan from now on. I'll take that.
He's bigging himself up there.
You got to do it. You got to do it.
You got to big yourself up, guys.
Be your own cheerleader.
Be your own cheerleader. Let's do our little claws here. We have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So I like to kind of call these sausages for now.
Here we go.
We're going to do these sausages kind of shapes. Start by doing almost like a little sausage, a wobbly sausage shape that goes over the branch. So essentially it goes a little bit over the top and a little bit underneath. So a little bit longer either side of our tree branch. That's going to be one. And we want to do another one next to it. You can bend them a little bit so it looks like the claws are kind of going, but they've got these little feet gripping on. You can have it kind of bending round if you wanted to here. And then we've got 3 more over this side. This one actually goes off the canvas. You can follow it round if you want to. Have that 3D effect. Do one. And another one. Maybe a little bit bigger because it's a bit closer to us. Follow it round in the canvas if you want to. You can see that the tree branch is kind of going through them, so if you want to, I know we will paint over it, but you can rub that little tree branch line out, just in case you see that pencil coming through later.
Talking of sausages, you're making me hungry, Pitcher. You're making me hungry. So if you have a experience box at home, you might have some extra tasty nibbles in there. So why don't you open up and grab your chocolate bar? This is so tasty. You can enjoy it whilst you paint.
Yum. Maybe we should have a snapping bell.
Oh, we should actually. What would it be? belly and body.
Belly's still quite good for
It's true, belly's good for it. You want the nibbles, don't you?
Okay, we are done with our sketch. Woohoo!
Well done, sippers.
That deserves a sip. That deserves a sip.
Okay.
We don't need our pencil anymore, so pop your pencil.
Pop that
out
away.
the way.
I'm going to tell you the answer to the last dad joke. So,
Let's
the
hear it.
question is, what type of soap do birds use? The answer was Dove. Of course it was. Dove. We all use dove. Birds use dove. Dove's a
Of course
bird.
it
It all
is.
makes sense. Did you get it? You got it. Well done.
Okay, right. We're going to start with the background here. As you can see, we're going for this kind of green, foresty, jungle look. And we're using loads of different colour greens. We've got a dark green, a kind of medium green, and some light greens in there. So we're going to mix up 3 different greens, and then we're going to paint this in. And the reason we're painting the background first is so that when we're doing the feathers later, we can get a bit expressive with it, and we can paint the feathers out like that, and they can just fall onto the background. If we did the toucan first, we would have to paint around all these little feathers, and that's going to be quite difficult. So we're going to go straight in with the background first. Grab your big brush for me.
Time for a big brush.
We always get our brushes slightly damp, so dip it in the water, tap it off either side.
And every time you dip, you have to have a cheeky sip.
Tap it on the paper towel if you've got too much water on there. And let's make some greens. Now we do have a green. It's already there. However, we want to make some different shades, different colours. Now, when we're mixing different colours, we need to think about how the colour that we're using is made, how we can make it lighter and darker. You can obviously add white and black to any colour to make it darker or lighter. However, when you do that, it slightly changes the tint of it, so it can change the vibrancy, which means that you might get a muted colour instead of a nice, vibrant light
Toucans
green.
are really bright, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we need to have a little think about how to make our green lighter without just adding white. So I'm going to take a touch of this green to the side, not too much for now, just a little bit. Green is made using yellow and blue. Yellow and blue. You mix these 2 primary colours together, yellow and blue, you make green. So we can actually add the primary colour. Which primary colour would make that lighter? Yellow. Yellow's lighter than blue. That's quite dark colour. So if we add some of this primary colour, all of a sudden, can you see? It's like magic. It's made it a lot lighter. So we need to be thinking about that when we're mixing our colours. So let's make some more of that. So green and yellow equals a light green.
Oh, I like that colour.
A lighter green. Yep. So that's going to be our light green colour. We need to make quite a bit of this because we are going to be painting a lot in the background. So make sure you've got a bit of green there for your light green. And when you're ready with that light green, we're going to make a kind of medium colour green. So this is quite medium anyway, straight from the tube. That's kind of like a mid, but it's still a little bit too dark. So I'm going to add a tiny touch, only a small amount this time of yellow. That's going to be our medium shade. Then we need to make a dark shade. I'm going to take some green to the side. How do we make a dark version?
Ooh, how do we do that?
Well, we don't add yellow this time because that's the primary colour that makes it lighter. So if we add our blue, we're going to get a dark green. Can you see how dark that is? It's a lot darker than it was. There we go. So now we've got a light, a medium, and a dark. Now these 2 are pretty similar in colour. If you want more of a contrast, add some more yellow in there. Let me add some more yellow, make it a little bit lighter.
I think that's a good idea.
So let's make it even lighter. So now I've got a really light one, a medium, and a dark. And I'm going to start using all these colours on my background. And we're going to be working fast because then it's going to blend them together for this kind of blurry, out of focus background. So let's start with the light colour. Use your big brush. You can use the even bigger brush if you have one. I think I have some bigger brushes. Just start applying some of this light green in some areas. You don't have to apply it everywhere. Just apply it where you can. And we're painting all the way up to the toucan. If you paint over the beak, that's okay. You can always paint over it later, especially over the fur here, because all the feathers, that's actually quite a dark colour anyway. It's black, so we can paint slightly over the bird. The beak is a little bit harder because it's lighter, it's yellow. So be careful of the beak, but if you want to paint over the bird a little bit, you can, or over the branch, you can. but we're just going to paint as much of this colour that we've got here. Can you see how I'm painting quite thick and I'm painting quite fast? Let's keep working fast. As I said, we want to blend some of these colours together.
You're moving fast just like a toucan, because apparently, even despite their large size, toucans are lightweight and they can fly quickly and maneuver well in the air. So they're quite nifty.
That's good. Okay, now I'm going to go with my medium colour. So all of a sudden you can see it's getting a little bit darker now. If you're running out of paint, don't worry, just mix some more up. You remember how to do it. Add yellow to make it lighter, and then add blue to make it darker. There we go.
And if you're using a canvas, would you say that they should paint the sides, Pitcher?
Yes, paint the sides. Get a bit of water on your brush as well. It'll make it go a little bit further.
Get it loosey-goosey.
Yeah. If you've got a bigger brush, I do have a bigger brush somewhere. Give me a bigger brush. Like this, or any of the bigger brushes. You can go in and cover it even quicker. Like this. You see that? Just applies it really quickly. Smudges them quite nicely.
So we're going for an artifact now. So you might have seen a toucan in the zoo or somewhere on TV. But can you tell me on which continent can toucans be found? Can you tell me that? Give me the name of the continent and you get an extra little pat on the back. So which continent can toucans usually be found? I might give you a hint. But I'm gonna let you go first. Just throw something out there. If you're confident, even pop it in the comments. So which continent can toucans usually be found?
Ooh, I don't know this one. I think I do though.
I think you do. You can whisper me the answer.
Okay, so then you can go in with some of your dark colours too. Can you see that? The dark colour. Bring it down the sides. There we go. Make sure you paint all the way underneath the neck and above the beak there. There we go. I'm going to paint the rest of this around the head.
This is where you get focused. This is where you get all the details in. And gotta let you know, little sippers, because I've just done one just now. If you make any little accidents, grab yourself some baby wipes. These are your best friend. If you get any paint where you don't want it, especially on your fingers, you can grab some baby wipes, nice and easy, and then just wipe it off. It's like magic. Or if you get any paint on your lovely canvas and you're like, oh, I'm not sure about that, just wipe it off. Just dab it off with a baby wipe before it dries, and it's like nothing ever happened. If it does dry, no stress. What you can do, just wait for it to dry and then paint over it.
Yeah.
Either way, there are no accidents in art.
You can always fix it.
Just happy little accidents, right? Just happy little accidents.
So I'm going in with my dark greens. Can you see how it's blending together while it's nice and wet? While the paint's wet, you can see it just kind of very, very softly blending together. And you can blend it in as much as you like.
Mix and blend, my friends. Mix and blend.
Okay, paint all the way up to the toucan's body. All the way down here too, underneath. Underneath Take a look. There we go. Oh, I'm getting some on my hand there. You can actually just bring in some yellow as well. If you wanted light bits in, bring in some yellow just as it is. Yellow will blend in there too. Make some of the areas a little bit lighter. There we go. Oh, I've got a little bit down here underneath.
Oh, don't forget that part. Don't forget that part, little zippers.
Nearly forgot about that. Sides. Now, maybe you're doing different colours at home. Maybe you've gone for some blues. That sky look instead. All underneath.
So I threw out to you little sippers. I wanted to know, which continent can toucans usually be found? I think you've got it at home now. I think you've got this at home. The answer I was looking for was South America. Well done. Well done.
Can they be found in any other country?
They can also be found in Central America as well. So
they're not in Africa.
So
I always thought that they might be in Africa too. Interesting.
Maybe Pitcher knows more than me.
I don't know anything.
That's not what I got down here, little sippers.
I always wondered.
So I've got Central and South America. So maybe they're in other places, but I'll have to have a little check with my friend called Mr. Google and see. But for now, we're saying Central and South America.
Yeah, definitely in South America, if that's where Rio the film was set, right?
That's the one.
Okay, I'm getting paint all over my hands. Maybe you have at home.
That's why we say baby wipes. Make sure you grab yourself some baby wipes. If you do get any little messy fingers. Oh, you're a messy pup. You've got paint everywhere, Pitcher.
Okay, I think I'm nearly done here with my background. Okay. Go. I'm going to wash my brush and then wipe my hands and have a sip.
Have a cheeky sip. I don't know if we've got these cereals here, but toucans are on things like Fruit Loops, and they're also on another cereal.
Oh.
Have you had this cereal before? It's called, well, it's on Fruit Loops. So he's called Toucan Sam. Maybe it's an American.
Yeah, Fruit Loops are American,
Fruit Loops.
aren't they?
Has anyone tried Fruit Loops before? Are they nice?
Wash my hands. Okay, I think we're ready to go in with some other parts of the toucan now. Let's have a little look. So we're going to do a couple of layers. We are going to do a layer here of grey, and hopefully that will dry, and we can then layer it up with some white. So you can see just we've got some white on top, and it stands out when there's a little bit of grey behind. So we'll do that. We'll paint this bit grey. We will also start with and we'll also do a lovely beak, but what we want to do is just straighten up any edges where we might have painted the background with some white. So we'll do that. Wasn't any point wiping my hands with stuff. So anywhere where you've gone slightly over the beak with your background, let's smarten that up with some white. So grab your medium brush, get it slightly wet for me, damp. Then get some white paint on your brush. So you're going to load your brush either side like this. So you pull out the white one side, twist the brush over, pull it out the other side. This means that your brush bristles stick together. If you just plop it in like that, your paint is a big blob and you can't get really thin lines. So you need to drag out the paint like this,
Nice.
either side.
That keeps it sticking together.
Yeah, it sticks the brush bristles together, brush bristles, and then you've got enough paint on there too. And we're just going to very carefully just kind of paint around this edge here to make sure that any of the areas where we painted over the beak is back to white again, so that when we paint our orange and yellow on there, it's nice and crisp. See here too? Paint over the pencil line if you can see it. Use the edge of the brush. Drag it round. So you're using this flat edge of the brush to drag it round.
Oh, I like that.
See that?
I see that. Talking of sticking together, let me see if our little sippers can get this one. Let me see.
Go on.
Okay, get this one. So can you tell me, how do crows, so the crow's the bird, how do crows stick together when they are flying in a flock? Ooh, you got to think about that. Got to think about that. How do crows stick together when they're flying in a flock? Oh, this one's a little bit of a hard one, but I think you can get this. Have a cheeky little sip. Have a pause. Let your creative juices flow, and then throw it out there. If you know it, well done you.
Okay, let's grab some of our... We're going to make a grey now. You remember the grey that I said that we're going to put in the background? So grab some white to the side. I'm going to go put it near the black here. Just get a bit of white. And then we're going to put a very small amount of black in there. So can you see, I've only just dipped the corner of my brush.
Oh, it's a really small amount.
Very small, because black is such a strong colour that it will turn my white grey very quickly. Now let's have a look. See, it's turning grey very, very quickly. Now that is the colour we want. We just want an off light grey there. You don't want it too dark. If it's too dark like this, it's going to be too strong. So you might need to add a little bit more white if you go too strong. So we just want it as a very, very pastel light grey. If it's too strong, add a bit more white. Make it lighter. There we go. It's going lighter again now. Okay. So as soon as you've got the right colour, we want our light grey. Let's paint on our toucan. That's this big curved bit. Oh, underneath here. Medium brush still. All the way under the eye. Paint over the pencil marks. We want to lose them pencil marks. Okay. Medium brush, paint all of this bit down here. I know it's looking grey right now. We will put a lot of white over the top of it. Go. Now we're going to have to wait for this bit to dry before we paint all the white on it, because we want the white to stick on top of it. And if we was to put the white on there now, it would just blend in. To get that grey down.
So I threw out to you. This was quite a hard, I'll say medium dad joke, to be fair. It's medium. So I want to know if you can get this one. It was about when you see a group of crows, how do they stick together when they're flying in a flock? It's a bit hard, but I think you can get it. It's how do you get crows to stick? That's the key word, stick together. I'll give you an extra minute before you can get this one.
Okay, so we've got our grey down. Oh, we've got this little bit here as well, if you want to put that in there. Use your medium brush or your small brush for that bit. Tiny little bit of grey just there, in that corner. We'll add white to it too. And we're going to wait for this area to dry. In the meantime, we're going to start on the beak. So wash your brush. You might want to quickly change your water. I'm going to ask Naughty to change my water because, if you can see, I don't want to pour it everywhere. But it's green.
Yes, filthy, dirty water.
So you want this to be quite nice and clean when you're doing your lovely yellow and orange beak. If you've got a bit of green in there, your beak might go slightly green. That's okay. Some toucans do have a slightly green beak. But we're going to change our water real quick and get a nice new fresh clean water so that we can have vibrant yellows, vibrant oranges. Top up your yellow or orange if you've run out. Oh, and give your brushes a really good wash because there will be some green on your brushes. You don't want that coming through.
And every time you're dipping right now, I think you should be doing some extra sipping.
Yes. Okay, I'm going in with a medium brush. I'm going in with some yellow paint. We're going to lay this yellow paint all the way over the beak.
You said that was the medium brush?
Medium brush. Yeah.
Medium brush for this one, little sippers.
Now, I know we've got our little black bit of detail in there. We're going to forget about that for now and we'll paint that black in later. Paint all the way up to the edge.
Was that a little
concentration? Yeah.
It's the focus. It's the focus. It's what happens when you're doing art. You completely focus on the task at hand.
So can you see how I'm using the flat edge of the brush to pull round and get that flat edge for the beak? So I'm using the flat edge, put it directly next to the line, and then you can pull round, and that's how you're going to get that sharp edge. So it's a little bit harder if you're using the corners, but use that flat edge. There we go. This bit over here is black. You can paint over that or you can just leave that bit. We will paint that later.
So if you haven't already, subscribe yourself to the Art Sippers YouTube channel.
Yes.
And follow us on Instagram. We are at Art Sippers and we're also at Art Sippers Kids. Go follow. Find out some news, information. Or are you even thinking about having an arty party? You know what to do. Give us a little shout.
So you can pop up in your home and do a birthday party for you. We did one very recently. Good fun. Okay, so I've got our yellow there. But our beak isn't just yellow, it's got some orange in it too. See our orange? So we're going to start bringing a little bit of that orange in. And you know our beak is still quite wet right now. We can bring some orange in. Now this orange is a little bit dark. Maybe we want some lighter orange. So take some yellow to the side and mix a touch of orange in there. A bit like we did with the green. Orange is made using two primary colours, red and yellow. If we want it lighter, we just add a touch of yellow and you'll get a lovely light orange. Okay, so let's use that orange. We're just going to make the bottom of the beak down here a little bit more orange in certain areas.
So does it matter if the paint's still wet?
No, it's quite nice. It blends together.
Ah.
So I'm just going to put a little bit of this orange. I've gone over into the background a tad bit there. Probably get a baby wipe. Baby wipe.
Cheeky little baby wipe.
Gone over into the background. Move that out a little bit. So I'm just adding a touch of this orange to the beak as well. Kind of adding it going up from the middle of the beak. So it's a little bit more detailed there. So we've got our little split beak here, splits in half. I'm just adding a bit of this orange into our beak. It's a little bit more yellow at the top. A little bit more yellow at the top. Can you see that?
I can see that.
And then it goes orange, a little bit more toe down there. Okay, so I'm adding our light orange and we'll go in with some of the darker orange in a minute.
Okay, while you're adding these lovely orange textures, I'm going to tell the answer to the last dad joke. Are you ready? Are you ready? So, want to know, how do crows stick together when they're flying in a flock? The answer, Velcro.
That's good.
Stick together with Velcro. Velcro. Come on, guys. You haven't got that. This is top level dad jokes today. Top level stuff.
So we added our light orange. Maybe we want to add some of our orange just as it is from the tube. You can wash your brush if you want, but because we're sticking with orange, it's okay if you don't. I'm going to add a little bit of the darker orange down here. Just like we've got here. It's a little bit darker on the bottom and then just at the top here too. So I'm just going to do a little bit of orange down at the bottom of the beak. This is just orange straight from the tube. In between maybe the beak there. Maybe a couple of little bits that come up. And then just at the top over here. It's a little bit darker at the top over here, isn't it? And then just to deepen it just a tad bit more,
What'd you do?
You can make a dark orange. So take a little bit of orange to the side. How do we make a dark orange?
Ooh.
Red. So our red, we add the other primary colour, it goes darker, doesn't it? So there we go. Can you see how it's getting stronger and stronger, darker and darker? That's our dark orange. So the more red you add, the darker it goes. And that can be the bit what we add here. I got a bit too much on my brush because I just mixed with it. So give your brush a wash, load it up either side again. And then want to add some dark orange just at the top here. Maybe a little bit at the bottom, but all toucans are slightly different. So it's okay if yours is going in a slightly different area. Maybe a little bit here.
So their bills are very important. Not only are they massive, but they're also very helpful because they help them reach fruit that other birds just can't access.
Ah, interesting.
And not only that, they are actually helpful at regulating their temperature.
Oh.
And it gets rid of excess body heat. So their bill is actually a bit of a super little power. Not only is it big, it's very, very useful.
That's good. I could do one.
To regulate your body temperature.
I could do one with to reach food.
Oh.
Reach all that food.
Very
handy. You can regulate your body temperature. You get really hot.
I do. I'm a hot one. And they've actually got something else. Not only have they got their big beaks to reach food, they've actually got, it says it here, but they've got a very strange tongue.
Tongue?
Yeah, they said they've got a long tongue with a brush-like tip, maybe like the brush you're painting with today. And that helps them to scoop up fruit. That's
crazy. I'm going to make a light orange again. So take yellow to the side and a little bit of yellow. I'm not saying this properly. Take some yellow to the side and mix a bit of orange in there to make a light orange.
There's no judgment picture. There's no judgment in this room.
And then we are going to paint this bit around the eye here, which is this orange colour. You can mix in some lighter orange if you want, or some yellow in this area. Paint around the eye. Paint on that pencil so we lose that pencil. There we go. It's coming together.
It really is, right?
Put a bit of yellow in there. Dab a bit of yellow in there.
So I've never heard of toucan before, but apparently they've got a low-pitched croaking call that can be heard up to half a mile away.
Whoa.
That's a long, long distance. And their bills use lots of sounds like clacking, clicking, and even a little bit of rattling.
I like that.
Just like that picture. You sounded more like a dolphin, but we'll take that.
Okay, so we've got a yellow eye, or orange eye even.
So while you're dipping, I'm going in. Dad joke, you ready for this? Which bird is always out of breath? Think about it. I'm trying to help you. When you're doing that, you're... So which bird is always out of breath? I think you can get this. If you think about what do you do when you're doing that a lot? If you think about that, you've got the answer. Just say it, see it, hit me with it.
Okay, let's get the black down. Now we can continue with our medium brush, or we can go to our big brush. It's totally up to you for this point. Let's get a little bit of water on our big brush. I'm going to go with the big brush. We need quite a bit of black. Maybe I haven't got enough here, but we need quite a bit of black, and we're going to paint the whole body black. So let's start down on the body. You can get a little bit of water on your brush, and we're just going to paint this whole body. There we go. So I'm painting all the way around. Now, when you get to the little white bit here, the little grey bit here, you can just kind of do a rugged kind of effect around here, so it looks a little bit fluffy. Can you see that? So it's going to look a bit more like feathers if we don't do a straight line around here, and we just make it look a little bit more rugged, like that. Go. I'm going to paint all the way around here too. There we go. Okay, just get that on there. Around here too. Get a little bit more water on your brush. Make it go a little bit further.
Have you got any sips left? Have you sipped all your sips? Probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
I've sipped all mine. Okay. Nearly done. Not quite. We're getting there. Round the head. Now this bit is where you can kind of flick out ever so slightly.
Ooh, I like a bit of flick action.
Onto your background. So you can just flick. And can you see how if you flick out a little bit, it creates that effect of feathers.
Ah.
So can you see that? So I'm just going to flick out a little bit onto the background.
So how are you holding your brush to get that effect?
So I'm holding it, using the tip like that, sideways on, and then flick out. So don't hold it this way, because you're not going to flick out properly. You've got to hold it this way, so up and down. So the one point is facing the top of the canvas, the other one is facing the bottom. So not side to side, up and down. And then you just kind of flick out, and that's going to create a little bit of a feather effect. Okay, so you can just flick out. Block it all in. Go around here. Again, you can use the edge of or the corner of the brush just to make this go back and forth to make this little breast bit a little bit more rugged and ready. And again, you can flick out over here too.
That's a good idea.
So you can flick, 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 flick.
Nice, furry and fluffy toucan.
Go. Get in there.
So as you're covering this, this is where you get into the zone. And this is why we love art. You can't think of anything else. You start to just get into a bit of a zen state. And it's great. So if you're doing this over the weekend, this is a perfect activity. Nice and chilled. Enjoy. Are you doing this inside? You can even do this outside in the garden if you've got one. It's a great thing to do. Have a little sit there, enjoy the sun rays, and
well, it depends on when you're watching this.
It's true. When are you watching this?
Maybe you're watching this in winter. Watching this back in winter, maybe you can't get them sun rays. Maybe it's not a weekend.
Where are you watching it? Where are you watching it?
Yeah,
either way, we love that you're getting creative with us. Haha! I gave you a dad joke. Did you get the answer correct? The question was, which bird is always out of breath? A puffin! A
puffin!
You got that right. Well done. That was actually quite hard.
Yeah. I need a little bit more black paint soon. I'm running out. There we go. Painting that last bit down here. Round the feet here. You want to go round these feet. There we go. There we go. Getting round them feet. Nearly there. Now this gets a little bit fiddly around the feet. So if you want to move to a smaller brush, definitely time to move to a smaller brush when you go around these feet. Should we do that? Let's do that. Small brush, get it slightly wet. And then let's go around these little claws. Using our small brush on the twig.
If this is your first time joining the Art Sippers Kids experience, remember, this is a challenge. We're trying to push you out of your comfort zone. People always tell us, I can't paint, I'm not creative. And this is why we set up Art Sippers, especially Art Sippers Kids, to make sure that you start creating. Because it's not that hard. All you have to do is follow step by step. And the good thing is that practice makes progress. Remember, I didn't say perfect. I said progress. So the more you do it, the better you get. So just keep practicing. And we've got loads and loads of artworks on our channel. So if you're enjoying this, why not check out the other artworks we've done? We've got things like Pikachu. We've got Hedwig from Harry Potter. We've got Minecraft. We've got Grogu from Star Wars.
We do.
So if you are into your creativity and you're thinking, do you know what? I want to do some more of this. Just check out the Art Sippers page. We got lots of goodies on there.
Lots and lots. You can catch up anytime with our YouTube, so make sure you subscribe. And you'll then get alerted when we're doing the next one. All right, so I'm just painting the beak now. You know the black details on the beak? Let's do that. And down here, we're getting through it quite quickly.
Gotta get through this.
It's coming together now. Okay. Use your small brush for this bit. Nice details.
Starting to look a bit like a toucan.
It is. So we've got the detail in here. On the tip of the beak. I'm using my small brush. You can use your medium brush if it helps you.
Yeah, if you need to get those details, small brush is great, but sometimes it can be a bit fiddly. We always find that people do very funny things when they're using their small brush. So which one of these are you? Are you someone that sticks out your tongue when you're focusing, like when you're thinking or doing something really, really focused? Or do you start to frown, scrunch up your face and get all those details? Or what Pitcher does, she holds her breath.
That's why I don't talk.
She holds her breath when she's getting into those little details, and that helps her to focus. So whatever you need to do, hold your breath, frown, or stick out your tongue, or all three, whatever you need to do to make you create a masterpiece, make it happen.
Nearly there. When you're using your small brush, you just want to put a little bit of paint on the tip. You'll have to dip a lot more. Now we do have a little bit of black in the eye, but I actually like to paint the blue eye first and then do the black on top. All right, let's wash our brush. Let's grab our medium brush. Let's grab a medium brush and we're going to mix a nice blue together.
Before you do that, Pitcher, can I tell them this one?
Go for it.
Okay. What kind of bird doesn't need a comb? What kind of bird doesn't need a comb? They don't need it. There's no need for a comb because they're missing something. They're missing something. Can you get this? If you do, well done you. You can get this. I know you can.
All right, blue. Let's mix the blue together. Take some blue to the side. I want to make it a little bit lighter. So I'm going to add a very, very small amount of yellow, and that's going to make me get almost like a turquoise blue together. So take some blue to the side, add a tiny, tiny touch of yellow. It's going to give us a nice greeny blue colour. And add a touch of white, and that's going to lighten it. And there you go. You've got this nice, bright turquoise blue. All right, you might not be able to use the medium brush for this bit, so go back to your small brush. Go back to your small brush and then use your small brush. I'm going to mix a little bit more of that up. Use your small brush just to paint the eye. There we go, and we'll paint that black bit in a minute. All right. We're going to start adding a couple of our little layers in a minute, but we'll paint our little bluey feet. So they do actually have slightly blue feet at the bottom there. Can you see that? Here we go. So we're going to take these slightly blue feet. Okay, so we've got our blue here, but we're actually going to make it slightly more grey. So let's mix that colour again. So take some blue to the side, add a little bit of yellow in there and some white. But this time, we're going to add a touch of grey, black to make it grey. Tiny bit of black to make it grey. It's going to bring it darker. And this is going to give us a nice colour. There we go. We're going to paint this on our feet. There we go. And we're going to get nice blue feet. Now it looks quite dark at the moment, but we will brighten it up. We're kind of losing our toes a little bit. We'll bring them back in a minute. They do have slightly blue feet, their little claws. So I know we're painting all of our toes right now blue and we're losing them, but we'll put a little bit of light blue on in a minute and bring it back. Okay.
So I threw out to you guys, I wanted to know what kind of bird doesn't need a comb. I think you can get this. I think you can get this. Think of what they're missing. They're missing something up top. So what kind of bird doesn't need that? Someone who doesn't need a comb, they're missing something. So what are they? You can get this. You can.
Okay.
Have a guess. How's the guess?
Okay, go back in with a medium brush. This time we're just going to lighten up this little blue here that we just made with some white paint. Here we go, lighten it up with some white paint. And now we're going to use this colour just to highlight our toes. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do a little line down the middle of them like this. And that's going to bring our toes out. Can you see that? Now that's going to give it that 3D effect that their toes are there and there's some shadows. Same with this one here. Now our claws are coming back. Here we go. We need to do our twig, our branch. I keep saying twig. It's because it's such a small body. Probably is a little twig. There we go. Getting there. We'll pop the little eye in a minute. Let's lighten up this breast area. Now you can use your small brush for this, or you could use your medium brush. It's up to you. I'll show you what this small brush does to start with. We're going in with white. And we're just going to do tiny, tiny little dabs. There you go. Tiny little dabs. Can you see that? It's now looking like loads of little feathers. And you can do this with your medium brush. So if you go in with your white and your medium brush, you can do the same thing and you can just do loads of dabs that way too. And you want to cover that whole thing, but you're leaving tiny little bits of that other grey peeping through. There we go.
So if you're wondering, how do I get all of these art materials? Because I want to paint with you next time. Well, you can. You can get our Art Sippers Kids virtual experience box online. Just go to artysippers.com/shop and we've got all the goodies you need to create a masterpiece. There's everything inside there. You get the canvases, you get the paints, you get the paintbrushes, and of course you get the cheeky sip. So if you're looking to get involved with us next time, head over to the Art Sippers shop.
We're coming to an end soon. So we're applying some of the finishing little touches, which is our little layers. So that's why we did the grey earlier, so that these bits will just pop off the page a little bit. These feathers will look a little bit more dynamic. It gives it a little bit more depth. Choose whether you want to do this with a small brush or the medium. I'm continuing with my medium brush. You can also do this little dab around the sides, around where the black starts.
I'm going to put you out of your misery now, little sippers. Okay, so the question was, what kind of bird doesn't need a comb? I thought you'd get this one because I gave you a lot of hints there. Lot of hints. And the answer was, it's a bald eagle. Boom. Did you get it? If you did, well done you. Well done you.
Dabbing away, getting in my zone. There we go. It's coming together now. That little bit over in this corner, remember? What's your brush? Let's do the eye.
Every time you dip, you have to have a cheeky sip. Make sure you grab those sips. If you've got any left, it's almost time to finish those up.
Did the little black eye. You can put a tiny little reflection if you wanted to, with a little bit of white. Tiny touch of white in there. Let's do the branch. Oh, I didn't put brown on my palette. I completely forgot about burnt umber. So we do actually need brown. You can make your own brown by mixing a bit of yellow, red, and blue in equal parts. They have all the primary colours. If you mix them together, you do actually get a brown. See that? It's kind of turning into a brown. Put maybe a bit more red in there. And it starts to give you a brown if you do equal parts yellow, red, and brown. Yellow, red, and blue, you get brown. But if you've got burnt umber, which you will have in your packs, grab the burnt umber and let's paint our branch brown. Now this is a dark brown. We can layer it with some light browns in a minute, but get that dark layer on. I'm using my medium brush for this. Bring it round the side.
You always got people asking us why and how are you wearing berets? So we wear berets because we don't take ourselves seriously at Art Sippers. This is a way for us to almost transform ourselves into being artists. So when we wear this, we get the superpower of artistry. So if you want to get your very own Art Sippers beret, with a nice little cheeky pin in there as well, which means you're part of the Art Sippers community, just head on to the Art Sippers shop and you can get your very own Art Sippers beret. I think, personally, it's very, very cool. I've done it. I've done it.
Paint that carefully. Paint it round here. You're doing the 3D effect around the side, around the bottom. Finish it all there. Now, you know I showed you that we can make a brown mixing all three primary colours. Well, we can lighten a brown by adding yellow. So add some yellow to some of your brown, and straight away you'll get a lighter brown. Can you see that lighter brown colour? Yep. Of course, you can add a touch of white if you wanted to as well. That will lighten it. Like I said, it just takes the vibrancy off it a little bit. And you can touch some of this colour to make our tree branch just a little bit more 3D. So touch in some of that, a bit more textured, some of that brown. Can you see now? Our branch is looking a little bit more textured and rough and ready. Just dab it in there. You can blend it a little bit while it's still wet, or you can just dab it in, make it look a bit more like a bark.
Okay, I'm going to give you one more, sippers. I'm going to give you one more. See if you can get this one. So, can you tell me what kind of bird can you buy at the supermarket? And I'm not talking about a chicken or a turkey. So I'm giving you little nudges into the right direction. What type of bird can you get in the supermarket? And it's not the first two that you're thinking of. It's a bit abstract, so you got to get your thinking berries on. If you get this, well done. Well done you. This is a bit of a hard one.
Now we're just going to add the one last little touch, which is some more of this texture in the actual toucan's body to make it look like he's got some feathers there. So the light is hitting some of the feathers, making them slightly a bit more of a charcoal dark grey as opposed to the black. So right now we've got our black body, but we want to have that little bit of feather texture. So we've got our black paint. We're not going to use any of that black paint anywhere else now. So what we're going to do is we're just going to tap a tiny touch of white into our black paint. So not too much. It's just going to go slightly more charcoal. If it doesn't change colour, you might need to add a little bit more. Just to make it go a little bit lighter. So just make sure it goes lighter. If it doesn't go much lighter, add a little bit more. Remember, black is very, very strong colour. Once you've added some of that colour, let's see if it shows up on our body. So you can use your big brush to do that. You can see it a little bit. Probably need a little bit more white in my black, so I'm going to add a little bit more white in there. It's going to go a little bit lighter now. There you go. Can you see that? That's better. You can see that now, and you can just brush in some of these feathers. So on the breast, or just underneath the breast, it might be slightly smaller lines going down, little dabs like that going down. But over on the back, on the wing here, maybe we want some bigger ones. So that's the good thing with acrylic paints. You can just kind of layer them a little bit. There you go. Adding some to the head. Maybe you want to flick out a little bit there. So now our toucan is looking a little bit more 3D. He's got some feathers there. Don't cover all the black. You want some of that black peeping through. You can also add a little bit more highlight to the feet if you wanted to. Sometimes I like to add a little bit more kind of light grey or light blue to the feet, just to make them feet stand out a little bit more. A little bit of light grey there to the middle of the toes. We are not completely finished though. What are we missing, Naughty?
I think there might be one thing that we might be missing. It could be your signature, little sippers. If you haven't signed your artwork, guess what? it's not yours. So we need to make sure that when we create art, we sign it. This proves and shows it's ours. And we take ownership of something that we created. And you never know, in the future, this could be worth millions.
Never know.
And they will be like, look, it's yours. I can see the proof. So it's always a good moment to sign your artwork. Usually Pitcher does hers on the bottom right, and she uses hers initials. So she uses the J and the P for Josie Pitcher. You can do the same. You can do your initials, or do your full name, or have a nickname. Pop that in there too. Whatever it is, make sure you sign your artwork.
I did mine in orange, just at the bottom there, and I did JP with this small brush. Again, take your time, make sure it's nice and neat. Use a little bit of paint and have a sip.
So you might see it scrolling across the screen now. Remember to join the Facebook group Art Sippers Kids Club. So this is a perfect place for you to share your artwork with us. We are going to be giving away a nice prize to one of you lucky people who put your artwork in the Facebook group. So remember to pop your artwork in the Art Sippers Kids Club, and we can see your artwork. We will be able to see your artwork, and you will be entered into the competition to win the prize. You've got 1 month from today to send it in there. If you're watching it at a later date, please still send it in too. We love to see your creations.
Yes, we do, and that is it, Sippers. You have completed the Art Sippers Challenge. Give yourself a round of applause.
So, is yours looking like pictures? Is yours looking like this lovely toucan? Toucan Do It? Did you do it at home? If you did, like I said, let us know. We want to see your creations.
We do, so send them into the Art Sippers Kids Club, or send them over to us on Art Sippers Kids Instagram. We'd love to see them. And yeah, don't forget that you can win a prize if you send us your artwork. So
Sip, sip, hooray.
Hooray! Bye, Sippers.
Stay
Enjoy
curious
and stay creative.
Till next time.
Oh!